Hi, this is Caitlin from the 70,000 Tons of Metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. This week on 70,000tons.tv, we give you a look at the merch sales for 2018. We also go to Tel Aviv, Israel, where our lucky survivor, Avichai, gets to interview Carcass for Survivor's Ask. Then we're going to take a look at what to pack and what not to pack for our next voyage on February 1st. Stay tuned for more action on 70,000tons.tv. Sailors, are you as excited about this year's awesome merch as I am? There is a new process to make things easier to buy official 70,000 Tons of Metal and artist merchandise. The Royal Promenade on Deck 5 and the Solarium on Deck 11 will only sell 70,000 Tons of Metal merchandise. The King Lear Dining Room on Deck 5 will sell artist and 70,000 Tons of Metal merchandise. All merch will be numbered and available for previewing via the onboard TV on Channel 38, or in person by walking through a designated browsing area of the store in the King Lear Dining Room on Deck 5. Sailors will receive an order card on which you will mark which items you would like to purchase. The merch store will open at 8 a.m. on Friday, February 2nd for the Take a Number kiosk. Once you have your number, go and enjoy the festival! The now serving number will be broadcast over the ship's onboard TV network on Channel 37 and on screens throughout the entire ship. Return to the merchandise store when your number is getting close and present your completed order card to your personal shopper for a quick fulfillment walkthrough and to pay for the entire order with your SeaPass card. Make sure to not lose your number or go swimming with it. A host will be on site to assist with any questions you may have with this procedure.
70,000 Tons of Metal. The world's biggest heavy metal cruise. February. You, together with 60 metal bands and 3,000 of the craziest heavy metal fans from around the world. Taking over one massive cruise ship. It's like everyone has a backstage pass. Sailing from Florida to Turks and Caicos. February 1st to 5th, 2018. 70,000 Tons of Metal.
Hi, this is Avichai from Israel. I'm here for 70,000 Tons of Metal. We're here at the legendary Barbie Club to see Carcass play a show, and we're about to head in and ask them a few questions before they start. Let's go. All right, guys, we're backstage at the Barbie Club with Jeff and Bill from Carcass, and we have some questions for you guys from 70,000 Tons of Metal. All right? So Roy Dgani from Israel asks, what made you change your musical style following necroticism, taking a more melodic approach, and was it a conscious decision or a more natural kind of evolvement?
Jeff? It was natural, but on my part, there was definitely a concerted effort to make the song simpler. As to whether we did or not is arguable, but there was no real conscious decision to make it more melodic or this, that, and the other. It's just something that happened naturally.
Yeah, that was the zone we were in. I mean, we've been doing a fair bit of touring, and I think without realizing it, we brought that experience into the rehearsal room because we realized what is like punchy live, you know, what reaches the back of a club or whatever. So that's probably the reason why hard work is slightly more simplistic in the arrangements and perhaps a bit more melodic. Plus, that's what we were listening to. You know, we were drenched in Thin Lizzy and stuff like that at that time. Well, we still are, but you know, that was what kind of sparked that off. Yeah.
So Meshuggah from New York asks from the 70,000 Tons of Metal forum, who did the artwork for Swan Song?
It was a woman called G. Voucher. She did artwork for an old political punk band. She used to work for the New York Times.
Right, cool. Lisa Hartwick from Canada asked on Facebook, what's the silliest question you've ever been asked in an interview?
This one, perhaps? No, that's a really good question, actually. It is a very good question, because we have been asked some stupid stuff. I'm trying to think, because we did so much press for this last record, Surgical. I'm sure you'd agree, like, we did more like in 3 days than we'd done for the rest of our catalogue in the past, you know. So the odd question came up where you're going, like, where did that come from, you know? but I can't answer it, so I'm really sorry to that person.
That's fine.
My mind's a blank. Yeah.
All right, this question is for Jeff. What led you to becoming the vocalist of the band after the departure of Sanjeev from the band, instead of getting a different vocalist to replace
Well,
him?
it wasn't. All three of us were doing vocals in the first album, and they all wimped out one by one. I was left holding the baby, so as to speak. So, yeah. But yeah, all three of us sang on the first album, and me and Bill and Ken did the vocals on the second album. Like I say, one by one, they dropped out and concentrated on their instruments, where I've just not concentrated on anything.
And what do you guys think about while you're actually performing on stage? What goes through your minds?
I think let me answer this. I think the key to success is not to think about anything. As soon as you start thinking, that's when you fuck up. I mean, for me, I don't know about Bill, but a lot of it, this is muscle memory. I just get slightly drunk and I just roll. I'm an automatic pilot. But yeah, as soon as you can get easily distracted, say someone in the crowd's doing something stupid, and as soon as you forget, you just kind of, you lose your motor skills. So yeah, I don't what Bill thinks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think there'd be a musician out there who would say they want to be thinking about anything. I mean, you want to be lost, that's the whole thing. You're just trying to escape when you're playing. Sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. And like Jeff said, there's something happening in the audience that's really putting you off, or, something's happening on stage that's putting you off or whatever. But on a good night, you're in the right zone, you've had enough, drinks before going up there, and you just plunge into it, and your brain's kind of switched off, or it's in this weird neutral position, which that's the ideal, I think.
All right. You guys played 70,000 Tons of Metal this past year. First of all, how was that experience for you guys? And were there any shows that you really wanted to see or really enjoyed seeing in particular?
I saw a lot of bands on the ship. I don't know if I necessarily wanted to, but there were some bands we went out of our way to watch. I think like him and Dan went to watch Dying Fetus, and
there was so many acts I wanted to see, and really inspiring. Overkill, always good, obviously. Death Angel.
Do you guys follow the scene right now? Are there any upcoming bands that you guys have listened to or have been aware of and following?
Well, you just mentioned one. We're playing with them tonight. So
Shredhead are opening tonight,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
So that's something we'd like to see.
All right.
But yeah, we tend to, I think all of us, even Dan, who's, in our terms a kid really, but like he's getting to that point where he likes to hear older music. So I think with metal, we kind of all lean towards the older styles and so forth.
I mean, I pay attention to what's going on. As to whether I like it or not, it's a different story. But yeah, I check out what's happening and what's going on. Yeah. Cool. And the question I should be asked: would I be, a metalhead now with some of the bands that are around? Possibly not, but maybe that's why we're still around. I don't know.
Once a metalhead, always a metalhead, I guess. But yeah. And last question: are there any countries that you want to go play in and you haven't had the chance to ever?
North Korea, yeah.
Absolutely. The other thing is we haven't really, we have done a large chunk of the world, but we haven't really done Africa besides South Africa. I'd love to see that change if it's even possible. So, yeah, just putting it out there.
Cool. All right. So, thanks a lot, guys, for taking the time. And I think we're good.
70,000 tons of metal. The world's biggest heavy metal cruise, sailing from Florida to Turks and Caicos, February 1st to 5th, 2018.
70,000 Tons of Metal, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise, is setting sail very soon.
Don't say soon!
Here's a list of what to pack and what not to pack. Packing's easier if you do laundry first, but hey, who's gonna do laundry? I'm down to a formal gown and 2 Halloween costumes. 2-pack. For you organized types, you may want to start a list. Make sure you have your passport and insurance papers and whatever travel documents you need. And also, you may want to get a lanyard for your room key and a tag with your room number on it in case you pass out in a random location and can't find your cabin again. Did we mention there are bars that never close? Tip: does not hurt to scan your documents in case something gets lost while drunk as hell. So, what not to pack? Going to a music festival, right? Tent, rubber boots, sleeping bag. Yeah, no, you're not gonna need those. Tip: you're not gonna need to pack beer. The ship has plenty of that. No beverages are allowed to be brought on board. 2-pack. Clothes might be a good idea. Bring water shoes for the ocean, especially if you're going on a shore excursion. Bring your favorite metal shirts and a light jacket in case it gets cold on the plane. Bring a bathing suit, a sun hat, and you can never have enough sunglasses. Make sure to bring a costume for the sailor organized costume party on the last night. Tip: pack some clothing essentials in your carry-on in case your suitcase gets lost. Not to pack. Don't pack your tuxedo or formal wear for dinner. You don't want to be overdressed. Wear your favorite battle vest or Viking tunic. Tip: pack a dryer sheet in your suitcase. It'll keep your Speedo smelling fresh as a daisy. Bring your favorite vinyl or CD for autographs from your favorite band, as you'll have plenty of opportunities to meet your favorite artists on the ship in the elevator or at a meet and greet. The official currency of Turks and Caicos is the US dollar. Credit cards are also widely accepted. And pack serious sunscreen if you're as pale as I am, or you're going to have a bad time. Lobster claws. Okay, if you forget something, the ship has a general store on the Royal Promenade on Deck 5. Not to pack. Don't bring too many shirts. There will be plenty of merch in the King Lear dining room, the solarium on Deck 11, and Deck 5, the Royal Promenade. To pack. Bring your team's jersey and a list of trash talk. On Super Metal Sunday, American football fans can watch the big game. Not to pack. Do not pack your dog. Once you pack everything, throw half of it out and save some room for new friends and good times. We'll see you soon on 70,000 Tons of Metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. Something we missed? Add it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Check out 70,000tons.com. Share and subscribe and tune in for our next episode.